I can remember being so frustrated 13, 14, 15, 16 years old because I didn't have pimples, because I didn't have a hair on my face, because I literally, in the 9th grade, put Maybelline, my mom, I went into her bathroom, put Maybelline eyeshadow on my face because, you know what? I was the only one on the basketball team that didn't have armpit hair. And I was ashamed of that because I didn't start shaving. I didn't get hair until I was about 22, 23 years old, and I was a late bloomer. And I can remember my plan worked until about the end of the first quarter when I'm running down the court and that starts running. I'm serious. And coach is like, he pulled me aside and the team was laughing. The coach said, "Fouts, wipe that off of you right now. You look silly." I mean, when they would have to tape your legs up from football, your ankles, because, and they didn't have to shave any of my legs because there was no hair, but I had it. And I remember in the 8th grade, there was a young man on our team. He wasn't young. He was actually 19-year-old playing 8th grade football. Yeah, he had hair coming out of his shoulder pads. His name was Harry, fittingly so. And I remember the second game of the year, he was throwing kids around like they were dolls, just boom, boom. And people were like amazed at this kid. Finally, there was a ref that said, "I need to see a copy of your birth certificate." The coach is like, "I don't think we have it." Finally, Harry said, "I think I'm 19. Coach said, "You need to just come over here and sit. You can't play any more games because you're going up against 12-year-olds. How's that even fair?" It looks on the surface like it's not even fair. But faith is greater than facts. And greater is he that is in you than he that is in this world. And see, for 40 days, I want you to catch this, for 40 days the giant came and taunted them. Have you ever been taunted like that? A lot of times the taunt's right here. You can't do that. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. And it's every day. Every day. And you listen to that day after day after day, you know what? You start to believe it. You start thinking, you're right. I'm never going to be able to overcome that addiction. I'm never going to be able to have a strong faith. You start to believe, and that's what they were in. Until one little boy decides, you know what? The taunt, I'm not going to believe because I'm going to believe what God has already spoke. You're always going to struggle with depression. You're always going to struggle with some kind of dementia. You're always going to struggle with some kind of heart problem. You're always going to struggle with this kind of, no, because it's not what God says. It's what the enemy says that matters. You're never going to make it. We've got to listen. You see, the miraculous and ridiculous always go together. Look at your Bible. God spoke to Noah, "I want you to build a boat." A boat? What's a boat? Just, I want to give you the instructions. And so he starts to build this boat that he would build on for 100 years. And finally he says, "Why am I building this boat?" Because it's going to rain. What's rain? Because it never rained. Before the dew would come from the ground and would water the earth. "Abraham, I want you to go in search of a city where I'll show you." Okay? When are you going to show me? I'm going to make you the father of many nations. I don't have any kids. The miraculous and the ridiculous always go together. "Elijah, I want you to build me an altar, and I want you to prove there's only one God. And oh, by the way, I want you to pour water on the wood that you're going to have on the altar, and it's going to catch fire." That didn't make any sense. "Naaman, I want you to dip in a dirty river called Jordan. There's all kinds of rivers that are much cleaner over here." It doesn't make sense. But doing something ridiculous so God can do something miraculous. It's ridiculous to forgive someone that's wronged you. But God says if you'll forgive them, He'll forgive you. It's ridiculous to give. Just give. And He's promised to give back. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Grow. You see, you have to choose courage over fear, over worry, over anxiety. And you're either going to be a David or you're going to be a Saul. You're going to be led by your faith or you're going to be led by facts. You see, it's perspective. It's all perspective. I love the story in 2 Kings chapter 6 There was a battle, and Elisha is saying, Lord, would you just please open my servant's eyes so that he can see that there's more for us than there are for them. Perspective. You see, Saul saw a boy, God saw a man. God saw a king where Saul only saw a kid. God knows what potential you have because he put it in there.